We love our listeners.
Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands.
For the record, proudly brought to you by
Coca-Cola. Available across the Cayman Islands from Tortuga Distributors. Accept no substitutes. Taste the feeling with Coca-Cola. Brand Source Home Gallery. Inspiring luxury. West Bay Pharmacy. Taking care of your health. And JN Money.
From abroad to yard.
Fast, affordable, convenient. Doctor's Hospital. Peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctor's Hospital. Always there for you. Call 949-6066. And the Ministry of Sustainability and Climate Resiliency. Visit energy.gov.ky or follow the National Energy Policy on Facebook and Instagram.
This is For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Coming to you live from Radio Cayman Studio.
For the record.
For the record. For the record. Hear from your government officials, independents, and the opposition on issues that matter to you. For the record. Engage in an open dialogue between residents and lawmakers.
For the record.
For the record. For the record. Informative, impartial, insightful.
This is your talk show.
1-800-534-8255. Your calls, your input. This is For the Record. And now, your host, Orrett Connor.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, O land of soft, fresh breezes and verdant trees. So fair. Today is Wednesday, the 12th day of April, 2023, right here in the beautiful Cayman Islands. We hope and we trust that everyone had a restful, peaceful Easter holiday, as well as your evening yesterday as well. We hope and we trust that everyone remained safe and had an enjoyable time with friends, family, or whomever you chose to be with. For those of you who are on the roads of the Cayman Islands, whether you're a pedestrian, a cyclist, or operating any type of motorized vehicle, we urge you to please be extremely cautious. Ensure that you observe the rules of the road. Remember, the life you save may just be your own. For those of you who are celebrating a birthday today, or if you celebrated one over the past few days, we want to wish you a happy birthday as well. And later on, we will be identifying those individuals who are either celebrating a birthday today or celebrated one the past few days as well. And to remind you that the For the Record birthday shout-outs are proudly brought to you by life insurance agent Michael Webster from Cayman Insurance Center, whose advice to you is to make the right decision for your family's future today. Also, More Than Words, your gateway to local books and more. Connect to your culture, tap into your roots. More Than Words, located on the second floor of the Thompson building. So, in addition to Cayman Insurance Center, we now have this segment of the birthday shout-out sponsored by More Than Words, your gateway to local books and more. Connect to your culture, tap into your roots. More Than Words, located on the second floor of the Thompson building. Those of you who have lost loved ones, again, we want to extend our sincere condolences to you. We hope and we trust that your faith will help to carry you through these extremely challenging times, and that the memories of your loved ones will be a blessing to you as well. Those of you who are ill and are either at home or at a medical facility here in the Cayman Islands or overseas, we wish you a speedy recovery. So, folks, I want to thank you for allowing Radio Cayman, and by extension For the Record, into your homes, into your vehicles as you traverse the busy roads of the Cayman Islands, into your places of work, wherever that may be. As you know, For the Record is a show produced by the staff and management of Radio Cayman, and it is geared towards keeping you abreast of issues as they arise and play out on the local, regional, and international scene. I am your host, Orrett Connor, and you're welcome to join me every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 7:30 a.m. until 10 a.m. During that period, our phone lines are open, and back with us from a well-deserved vacation is none other than that beautiful voice of Miss Susan Watson. You can call us on our toll-free number provided courtesy of Flow. That toll-free number, 1-800-534-8255. You can also call us on 949-8037 and 949-6990. Email us at fortherecord, one word, fortherecord at candw.ky. WhatsApp us, 925-3261. Follow us on YouTube. You do that by subscribing to Radio Cayman live stream, and we are on Facebook as well. So before you pick up that phone to dial, we're going to ask you to hold off for a second because we have a lot of catching up to do here on For the Record. It's been exactly 1 week since we were last on the air, so we want to share with you some belated birthdays as well. So 2 days ago, Mr. Troy McCoy celebrated his birthday. Miss Ursula Schoenberg Ebanks also celebrated a birthday 2 days ago. Mr. Christopher Hadom, Chuck, and Mr. Chuck Connor as well. Then we have some birthdays for tomorrow, and of course we won't be on For the Record again until Friday, God willing. So we have Mr. Robert Scott, who will be celebrating his birthday tomorrow, 13th of April. Miss Peggy Wilson also celebrating a birthday. Katie O'Neill celebrating a birthday tomorrow as well. And Mr. Gary Rich also celebrating a birthday tomorrow. Then we have other belated happy birthday greetings going out to our very own here at Radio Cayman. We have Mr. Dean, who celebrated his birthday, as well as Mr. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks. So belated happy birthday to Dean and to Sterling as well. Then we have Miss Vernice, who's sending out belated birthday greetings also. Belated birthday greetings are going out to Mr. Ellard Miles, who is Miss Vernice's brother. She's also wishing Miss Joellen Ray Smith belated happy birthday. Also Mr. Henny Webster, belated happy birthday greetings to him, and Mr. Evan Dillon. All belated happy birthday greetings coming from Miss Vernice Miles as well. And folks, again, to remind you that this segment of the For the Record birthday shoutouts proudly brought to you by life insurance agent Michael Webster from Cayman Insurance Center, whose advice to you is to make the right decision for your family's future today. Also, More Than Words, your gateway to local books and more. Connect to your culture, tap into your roots. More Than Words, second floor, Thompson Building. So we're going to go to I was going to shift and go to a commercial break now, and then when we return, I will introduce my guests into the studio. Folks, don't change that dial. Please stay tuned. Have a very exciting guest in the studio with me this morning, and based on past experience, it is likely to be hot in the studio. So please stay tuned. For the Record, we'll be back shortly.
The Cayman Islands boasts of a long, colorful, and rich history. In tribute to our roots, Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands, is pleased to bring you the Historical Vignette Series, brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects. The Cayman Islands, He hath founded it upon the seas.
Rudolph Oliver Evans, 1903 through 1997. Oliver Evans was married to Florence, and they had 9 children. He was a renowned maritime chef, a devoted father and husband, a seaman, and a church elder. His church members voted him Father of the Year for 3 consecutive years. Like most Caymanian men, his love of the sea gave him much experience of adventure. When the schooner Wilson was caught in the 1944 hurricane on its way from Honduras to Cayman, Oliver and his fellow crewmen chopped the mast down and with what was left of the sail made a storm anchor. This allowed the vessel to ride with its bow into the wind and saved it and its crew. His credo and his legacy to his children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren was, "We are our own destiny. How we live our lives will determine how history will judge us."
Radio Cayman's Historical Vignettes was brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects.
Every boy, every girl, every mom, every dad, every student, every teacher, every scholarship provider. The annual Rotary Central Bill Rudy Science Fair is back. Saturday, April 22nd at the Ark Recreation Center, Camana Bay. A universe of science, invention, innovation, experimentation, botany, medicine, robotics, engineering. So much imagination, so much science. Your children, our children. The next Nikola Tesla, the next Albert Einstein, the next Stephen Jobs, budding climate scientists, maritime scientists, engineers, biomedical engineers. Hear them talk, see them show you how. The 16th Annual Rotary Central Science Fair, Saturday, April 22nd at the Ark Recreation Center, Camana Bay. This event is free to the public. Rotary, all that you can imagine.
More Than Words, your gateway to local books and more. Connect to your culture. Tap into your roots. More Than Words bookstore in the Thompson Building. Supplies local books, gifts, trinkets, keepsakes, wall plaques, and journals. The hub for local authors. More Than Words. So much more. More Than Words is now open. Shop number 4, 2nd floor, Thompson Building. Or call 936-5544.
What's that? No sugar, same amazing taste? Coca-Cola Zero Sugar is here to stay. Classic taste, pure satisfaction. Be sure to stop into any Tortuga location and get your own case of Coke Zero. Or grab an ice-cold one straight from the cooler. Brought to you by Tortuga Distributors Limited. Coca-Cola, taste the feeling, Cayman.
At Doctors Hospital, we know life happens, and usually when you least expect it. So when unexpected medical issues arise, you need quality care close to home. Located in the heart of Georgetown, our accomplished team of physicians and medical staff treat minor urgent conditions such as migraines, chest and abdominal pain, shortness of breath, burns, broken bones, open wounds, and more. 24 hours, 7 days a week with no appointment necessary. Peace of mind is important when life happens. At Doctors Hospital, we're always here just for you. Need to speak to someone? Call 949-6066.
If it's time for new appliances, hop on into the LG Appliance Easter Sale now on at Brand Source Home Gallery. Save 15% off on LG appliances. Buy a 4-piece kitchen and you'll get a further 5% off. Yes, if you have older appliances that have seen better days, don't wait. Take advantage now of the LG Appliance Easter Sale. Hurry in. Sale ends Saturday, April 15th. Brand Source Home Gallery on Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park. Phone 623-5000.
Ensuring your existing appliances and equipment are cleaned and maintained regularly is an easy way to improve energy efficiency in your home.
Have your air conditioning equipment serviced by a professional. Make sure bathroom and kitchen exhaust fans and refrigerator coils are cleaned regularly, because the harder your appliances have to work, the higher your bills will be.
The do-it-yourself energy audits on energy.gov.ky make it easy to find ways to save energy and money in your home or business.
Complete an energy audit of your home or business before 31st of May 2023 to be entered into a prize giveaway. Prizes include a $5,000 gift certificate to Home Gas and gift certificates to Cooling Pros, Foam Pros, Costyless, and Foster's.
To learn more, visit energy.gov.ky today and follow the National Energy Policy on Facebook and Instagram.
There you go, sir. Thanks for choosing JN Money Transfer.
Boy, thanks to JN Money Transfer, I can stay right here in Cayman and pay mama bills back home in Jamaica. Her water, light, phone and other bills never late. Every month I pay everything in one place.
Make payments to over 30 companies in Jamaica through JN Money Transfer. Fast, affordable, convenient. Call 1-800-744-1163 for details.
They say you only live once. I say you only die once, but you live every day. I'm Michael Webster from Cayman Insurance Center, longtime supporter of Radio Cayman. Live your life, my friends. Happiness is in the journey, not the destination. When you're ready, I'm here to support you with the best financial decisions for your family's future. Cayman Insurance Center, protecting you and your family so you can take back your future. I'm Michael Webster, the sure way to protect your family. Call me when you're ready at 925-5433. Don't take chances with your family's future or your valuable assets.
Think life insurance.
System 1 loaded.
1-800-534-8255. What is on your mind when it comes to the government, independence, and the opposition? Issues that matter to you. 1-800-534-8255. Waiting to hear from you. For the Record.
This is For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. Before I introduce my guest this morning, we do have another birthday shout out that we're going to share with you. And this person is saying, please send birthday greetings to my son, Corey Garriquez. He's celebrating a birthday. Birthday greetings are coming from his mother, Merlene, and the rest of the family. Wish him God's richest blessing and a long life. So, birthday greetings going out to Mr. Corey Garriquez, coming from your mom, Merlene, and the rest of the family as well. Also, I want to share this with you. This is an announcement coming from the Countryside Church of God. The family and Countryside Church of God invite you to join them in a praise and worship service in honor of their beloved father and pastor, the late pastor Marquis McLaughlin, at the Countryside Church of God, number 268 John McLean Drive in East End at 7 o'clock tonight, the 12th of April. So tonight, the 12th of April, there will be a praise and worship service in honor of the late Pastor Marquis McLaughlin. It will be held at the Countryside Church of God, 268 John McLean Drive, 7 p.m. this evening. So with that, Doc, I'm going to give you the mic for about 7 minutes, just for some opening comments and, talk about some of the things that you're concerned about as well. We're going to, before we, last show that we were on, we were talking about campaign finance, election financing as well. Yes. And we want to touch, base on that slightly. We're still having difficulty finding the full judgment of the Court of Appeals on the PR, but hopefully we can contact someone. If you go to the website, I think on the law reports and stuff like that,
you have to pay now.
You have to subscribe for that,
yes.
As well. So, we'll have to get Radio Cayman to subscribe so that we can have access to that as well. But good morning, welcome back to For the Record. How was your Easter?
Oh, my Easter was great. I stayed home most of the Easters and did some repairs to my house. That was long overdue. Mm-hmm. Repairing decks and all that sort of stuff.
Right.
That you get a lot of rain on it all the time yearly, and they needed some repairs, so I decided to stay home and to get some repairs. But of course, I didn't get to see too much of Lord Graham, because usually on the weekends we get together and go east, and we have to see what's happening out there. And I'm glad to say that I'm so proud of what some Caymanians are doing. Mr. A.L.T., Mr. A.L. Thompson, and Arden McLean, and all of those people are out there in the East, and they're doing a tremendous amount of work preparing for the future, for food and sustenance to sustain the food supply. And I got a shock of my life about what A.L. Thompson told me. He says to me that I can't remember how many 1,000 pounds of avocados are imported every month on a monthly basis here, and he said he was planting at least 50 acres of avocado trees to be able to stop that balance of payment. But that means money going overseas for those things, and said that they're putting in a herd too of cattle. And that in the near future they would be butchering at least two or three cows a week for food in the supermarkets, and I think that was very commendable. But you should go up there and see what they're doing.
I've been there. I've been there. Yes.
It's remarkable. What Caymanians, the resilience of Caymanian people, and there are a lot of people criticizing us and saying that we're lazy and that we don't plan for the future. But there are some of those Caymanians like A.L. Thompson and Arden and McLean and some of those people who are out east who are planning for the future, and the cattle farms and the herds of cattle that I saw. I was very impressed with that.
Did you get an opportunity to see that machine from Beacon Farms in operation, the one that actually is able to trench, to dig something like about 14, 16 inches down, and to turn the rock into soil, or to mix it, and then
pulverize the rocks and then turn it into soil. I saw that.
Now, and my thoughts with that was that the government, what the minister announced about the government-owned land in the East End area as well, and allocating at least 1 acre to persons who wish to farm it. That machine there is something that could be used for that purpose. Now it seems to be a very expensive machine, somewhere in the region of about
half a million dollars. Yes,
but it could pay for itself at the end of the day. It could pay for itself. There's so much that can be done, and sometimes it takes time. But I believe that you get more done when you have everyone supporting the same thing, as opposed to when you have one person saying, this is what I want to do, but you have to get everyone else on board. And again, getting back to the party system. Now, I there's something, there is, there's I think it's a poem or something. How do I love you? Let me, how do I love thee? Let me show you the way, or let me show the way. And I want to change that around to our politicians and the way that the Caymanian people feel about them, and to list all of those things that the people of the Cayman Islands are calling for, like more control of traffic, controlling the importation of vehicles, and nothing has been done. So, they can't say, let me show you the way, how I love thee, because they're really not loving us, because they're not doing anything, or not many things that the majority of the people, at least those who are vocal about it, want to take place, including advisory district councils.
Yes, and I'm glad you bring that subject up early, because I had the opportunity to go with Lord Graham to the custody port. Up at near the airport, the custom port there.
Yeah, Port Authority.
Port Authority.
The compound there.
The compound, and I saw hundreds and hundreds of vehicles that are waiting custom clearance. Hundreds of them, rows and rows of them, awaiting custom clearance. And there was a gentleman there with the hood up for one vehicle, and I asked Lord Graham what he was doing. He says he went to clear that vehicle and it couldn't start, and he was probably trying to get it started, brought a battery to start it or something like that. And I wondered, And then I got the information that there are some 1,500 more vehicles in Kingston, Jamaica, waiting to be shipped here. And I understand something like every night or something like that is something like 75 to or 300 vehicles coming in on the port. And I wonder, when is this going to stop? When, I mean, how much is enough?
Yeah, we've reached critical mass already.
Critical mass already, and it seems to me that, and I come to the conclusion then that's when I really come to the conclusion that you cannot build roads, to continue to accommodate the vehicles, because the more roads you build, the more vehicles going to be coming into the country. There has to be a saturation point where you don't allow any more vehicles to come into the country. There has to be some decision-making policy in regards to vehicles.
Okay, folks, we've reached the top of the hour, the 8 o'clock news. When we return, the conversation with Dr. Steve McField will continue, and we will also welcome you to call in and express your views as well. Please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back immediately after the 8 o'clock news.
Thank you, Mr. Connor. And studio time now by Price Right is 8 o'clock.
At Priced Right, spending less on everyday products is easy.
Spend less on tools and automotive products.
Good deals on groceries and meat.
Electronics, TVs, Bluetooth speakers, and more.
Spend less on home cleaning products.
At Priced Right, we believe you can live, play, and love better for less.
To start saving, visit us in the Airport Center in Georgetown or at Republic's Plaza in West Bay.
Or shop online at pricedright.ky. Live better for less at Priced Right.
The voice of the Cayman Islands.
89.9 FM in Grand Cayman and 93.9 FM in Cayman Brac and Little Cayman.
Silver wings shining in the sunlight.
Radio Cayman.
The 8 a.m. news is brought to you by ValueMed Pharmacy. Save time and order your prescription refills online at value-medpharmacy.com. VALU-medpharmacy.com.
For today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
With your latest news, I'm Carsley Fuller. An application for a new $1.1 million Montessori school to cater to children in West Bay and the 7 Mile Beach corridor is heading before the Central Planning Authority Board today. At 11 a.m., the CPA is set to hear a pitch from Montessori West for a preschool, 2 signs, and the associated facilities on a site on Captain Reginald Parsons Drive. The application is in an area generally characterized as residential. However, there is a large area of undeveloped land. The application seeks planning permission for the construction of a preschool, ancillary features such as shade sails and a petting area, as well as the installation of 2 signs. The building will be constructed in 2 phases. The project faces no public objections, and the board will discuss the project's suitability, the parking arrangements, and comments submitted by government agency with regards to the development. In particular, the National Roads Authority has flagged concerns with regards to traffic flow. However, they had not yet responded to revised site plans that were submitted to them on March 21st. The Department of Environment, in its comments, supports the school's plans to keep 4 rabbits and 2 weaned baby goats on site, working with local farmers for a steady supply and to house the goats in the event of a hurricane. The DOE adds that scientific research has shown that children benefit from spending time in nature, both in terms of mental and physical health, fostering, quote, an awareness of sustainability and highlighting how to mitigate damage to native species and how to care for the environment to preserve it for future generations. They also are encouraging developers to plant native plant species to help encourage that as well. The appearance is scheduled for 11:30 today at the Government Administration Building. And Cayman Turtle Conservation and Education Center reaches a new milestone. Radio Cayman's Felicia Rankin-Solins has more.
Cayman Turtle Conservation and Education Center announces that its conservation initiatives have achieved a new milestone with the number of green sea turtles released into the wild by the center since its release programs began back in 1980, now reaching over 36,000. The release of these turtles is a significant milestone for CTCEC and comes as the center celebrates its 55th year of operations, having been established in 1968. For more information on the Cayman Turtle Conservation and Education Center, visit turtle.ky. I'm Felicia Rankin-Solins.
Now with a check of international news, here's the BBC, which will take us out of the newscast. I'm Carsley Fuller.
BBC News.
President Biden has been meeting the British Prime Minister Rishi Sunak in Northern Ireland during a visit to mark the 25th anniversary of the Good Friday Peace Agreement. He'll be giving a speech before travelling to the Irish Republic, where he has family roots. The Kremlin spokesman in Russia has condemned as awful a video which appears to show a Ukrainian soldier being beheaded. Dmitry Peskov described the footage as horrific, but insisted it needed to be checked as it could be fake. Taiwan's governing party has announced that the Vice President William Lai will be its candidate for next January's presidential election. In the past, he's been a strong critic of Beijing, promising to strengthen the island against threats. Elon Musk has told the BBC that his takeover of Twitter was painful and quite a roller coaster. In a live interview, he also said he would sell Twitter if the right person came along. An Iranian delegation has arrived in Saudi Arabia to prepare the reopening of the country's diplomatic mission there. The move follows a similar visit to Tehran by a Saudi delegation on Saturday. Myanmar's military government has confirmed that its aircraft carried out the deadly bombing of a village on Tuesday when families were attending a celebration. Survivors told the BBC they'd collected at least 80 bodies so far. The United States has announced ambitious new targets for cutting greenhouse gas emissions from cars. The Environmental Protection Agency wants 2/3 of all new vehicles to run on electricity within a decade. South Korea says dust and sand blown in from the Gobi Desert in northern China and Mongolia has covered almost the entire country. The authorities are advising people with respiratory illnesses to stay indoors. BBC News.
The 8 a.m. news is brought to you by ValueMed Pharmacy. Save time and order your prescription refills online at value-medpharmacy.com. VALU-medpharmacy.com.
Now, more than ever, supporting your immune system is crucial to helping your body fight off illnesses like the common cold, the flu, and COVID-19. At ValueMed Pharmacy on Walkers Road and in Buttontown, we carry all the essential vitamins and minerals to help support your immune system and improve your overall health. Some of our top immunity support picks are vitamin C, vitamin D, zinc, elderberry, and quercetin, or the popular 7-in-1 immunity support. Our pharmacists are always on hand to help guide you and answer any questions. Visit ValueMed Pharmacy on Walkers Road or Buttontown. Live happy, live healthy with ValueMed Pharmacy.
Stay in touch with Radio Cayman with the latest up-to-date, accurate news and information. For your convenience, the headline news will be repeated on our sister station, Breeze 105.3 FM, weekdays at 8:30 a.m. Follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or download the Radio Cayman app in the App Store or log on to www.radiocayman.gov.ky and stay connected to what's happening in the community. Radio Cayman, your voice, your choice, your radio.
At Kirk's Home Center, we can make your life much better. We got it all together. We got a great deal in store for you. From cookware to stereos, from power tools to plumbing supplies. Yeah, we got the best goods with the best price and a service to make you smile. At Kirk's Home Center, we got a great deal in store for you.
The Department of Environmental Health would like to advise the public that in order to prepare for hurricane season, this year's bulk waste collection will take place in May, replacing the traditional year-end collection. Residents are urged to prepare and separate their items ahead of the week assigned for collection in their respective areas. Any bulk waste that is put out after the announced dates will not be collected. Household appliances, furniture, and other items too large to be handled by the weekly DEH collection crews should be placed by the roadside where it is easily accessible to DEH collection crews. Metals and vegetation should also be separated from other bulk items. Do not obstruct the roadway or storm drains or place tires, construction and demolition waste, hazardous materials, or electronics. For more information on the bulk waste collection, please contact DEH's Solid Waste Management Section at 949-6696.
The 8:12 a.m. weather report brought to you by CG Britcay, where people come first.
Pleasant good morning. Let's take a look at the latest weather report. Current temperature is 79 degrees. Relative humidity is 82%. The barometric pressure is 29.91 inches and rising. The winds are calm. Overnight low temperature was 72 degrees. Synopses indicate light winds and smooth seas are expected for the next few days due to a weak pressure gradient across the Caribbean. Satellite images show a few clouds over the Cayman area moving towards the southwest. Now the forecast for today calling for partly cloudy skies with a 20% chance of afternoon showers, and temperatures will rise to the mid-80s. Winds will be east to southeast at 5 to 10 knots, and seas will be smooth with wave heights of less than 2 feet. Tonight, mainly fair skies with less than a 20% chance of showers, and temperatures will dip to the mid-70s tonight. Winds will be light and variable, and seas will be smooth with wave heights of less than 2 feet for tonight as well. Today's low tide will occur this morning at 9:54, high tide this afternoon at 2:20, and a low tide again tonight at 10 minutes past 9. The sun will set this evening at 6:41 and will rise tomorrow morning at 6:10. And the outlook is calling for similar weather conditions through Friday morning.
The 8:12 a.m. weather report brought to you by CG Britcay, where people come first.
Take some advice from your Aunt Angie. If you're going to invest in an exotic pet, choose anything but a Norwegian forest cat. Apparently, they will eat all your jewelry. Before you know it, you're racing to the vet when your cat escapes from his carrier and lunges for your earrings. You crash and your cat swallows your pearls. But if you're smart, you'll have CG Motor Insurance and get the best comprehensive coverage for the price.
Get the best comprehensive coverage for the price. CG Britcay. Good like that. All benefits are subject to policy provisions, including eligibility at the time of service.
During these unprecedented times, Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands, is pleased to bring you the Cayman Strong Series. The Cayman Strong Series is brought to you by OnCourse Cayman. Visit oncourse.ky to view a full list of wellness services and their qualified team. OnCourse Cayman, health, wellness, and happiness.
Achieving our goals is rewarding, but at times can feel frustrating, especially if and when we miss our target. As you approach your goals in life, set yourself up for success.
When setting your goals, be realistic. It's important to set realistic goals and say no to distractions. If you overcommit, then you may have difficulty sticking with your goal. Keep your goals doable. Choose goals that mesh with your other responsibilities. You may also need to tweak either the goals or other priorities if you find things aren't going well.
Change your thinking and change your life.
During these unprecedented times, Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands, is pleased to bring you the Cayman Strong Series. The Cayman Strong Series is brought to you by OnCourse Cayman. Visit oncourse.ky to view a full list of wellness services and their qualified team. OnCourse Cayman, health, wellness, and happiness.
These days, feelings of loneliness, anxiety, stress, and depression can be overwhelming. Just know you are not alone. OnCourse Cayman offers private mental health services for children, teens, adults, and groups. Visit oncourse.ky to view a full list of wellness services and their qualified team. OnCourse Cayman, health, wellness, and happiness.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Planning a meeting, event, or office celebration? Visit subway.ky to place your catering order today.
Good morning. Let's take a look at what's happening traffic-wise. Coming from the east end, Shamrock Road and Rex Creighton Boulevard, traffic flowing pretty good. And further down, little steady traffic, nothing to worry about too much. Other lid for Pearson Highway. And coming off of Agnes Way as well, moderate flow of traffic. Little steady traffic off of Bobby Thompson Way. And traffic is a little busier on Cool Road heading to Georgetown. And on Godfrey Dixon Way and Eastern Avenue, traffic flowing moderately in both directions. And Edward Street, downtown Georgetown, looking pretty good. Coming from the West Bay four-way stop, moderate flow of traffic. And traffic on North-South Road is moderate in both directions. Coming off of the Esterly Tibbetts Highway, steady but flowing traffic. And that's what's happening on your roads. Join us again at about 10 minutes after 12 o'clock, we'll give you another traffic report. Remember, click it or ticket.
When you're craving something big, something tasty that gives you that lip-smacking satisfaction, something that hits the spot, there is nothing better than a footlong from Subway.
It's pretty tasty.
Filling and full of flavor. Try our new sweet onion steak teriyaki with a twist. Or the classic chicken teriyaki. Top it with green pepper, onions, cheese, and that sweet onion teriyaki sauce, all piled on your favorite artisanal bread. Satisfy that craving with a footlong from Subway.
Fresh, delicious, tasty, meaty.
Let's make it a meal with a drink, chips, and cookies. There is nothing better than a footlong from Subway.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Planning a meeting, event, or office celebration? Visit subway.ky to place your catering order today.
Tune in every Monday through Friday at 12 p.m. for Radio Cayman's Midday Newscast. Radio Cayman, the People's Station, your trusted official source for the latest news. The 12 p.m. news is proudly brought to you by Health City Cayman Islands. World-class healthcare within your reach.
Since 1993, Rotary Central has worked diligently each year to provide quality bus shelters to our community. A traveling convenience to our school children, the elderly, young people going to work, guest workers, and visitors using the public bus. We, Rotary Central, help you, our advertisers, make it happen. Your marketing dollar travels a far way. Positioning your message, your product, your services, your presence in over 83 bus shelters. Every dollar you spend, every advert you place helps to build another bus shelter, providing modest comfort for Cayman travelers. Reserve space now on the only billboard medium in the Cayman Islands. Email rotaryshelters@gmail.com. rotaryshelters@gmail.com. The Bus Shelters, a partner in community convenience. Another inspiration program by Rotary Central Cayman Islands.
For the record, with Orrett Connor.
Initiating system.
For information that matters. For the record, with Orrett Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. In the studio with me this morning, Dr. Steve McField. We have a few callers and we'll be going to those callers in a second, but I just want to lay some of the groundwork for some of the things that we want to talk about this morning. So first I'm going to go back to my comment about this, the phrase, how do I love thee? It says, how do I love thee? True love is depicted as long-lasting and even eternal. However, the poem also reveals a tension between love as an attachment to early life and the things of this world, and love as something that transcends life on earth. So, again, how do I love thee? Let me count the ways. So I'm going to count the ways in terms of my feeling and others who feel that their politicians do not love them, and they can count the ways as well. I have listed 6 ways that they don't love us, and I'm sure we can add to that as well. So my listing is they don't love us because they're not doing anything about controlling the population growth in the Cayman Islands. While some may deny it, many aspire for us to reach that 100,000 mark. How they don't love us? We don't see enough being done about uncontrolled development in the Cayman Islands. We have people calling for a proper development plan. How don't they love us? Environmental concerns as well. While some are saying we need to balance development and the environment, which is true, but people feel not enough is being done there. How do they not love us? They don't allow us to participate in our democracy by way of advisory district councils. How do they not love us? Uncontrolled importation of vehicles. Nothing is done to control that. How do they not love us? Security of tenure. And folks, this is a new one for you. Security of tenure for Caymanians, because we are a disappearing breed. And if you doubt me about that, look in your workplace, look around you, and see how many are like you in terms of their generational connections as well. Security of tenure for Caymanians. We always hear about security of tenure for those persons who have been in the Cayman Islands working here for a long time. What about security of tenure and ensuring that we do not become a dying or a disappearing breed in the Cayman Islands? Let's go to the phone lines. First caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. Good morning. Not too bad. Boy, I'm listening to your voice. Mr. Connor. Can you hear me?
Yes, we're hearing you. Go right ahead.
Yeah. This morning, I am here saying that I want to write a letter to Prince Charles about my island and my people and how we are being treated, and hear what you're talking this morning about. And I want to know, how do I go about getting an address to have a letter forward to England? I don't want to put it in nobody's hand here.
Yeah. You're coming in muffled. We're hardly hearing you. We're not hearing you clearly. We're not hearing you clearly.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, that's better.
Yeah, yes. I said I want to write a letter to Prince Charles.
King Charles.
King Charles. Mm-hmm. King Charles. Sorry, King Charles, yes. I want to write him a letter. I don't want to get nobody's hand here that it doesn't get to England. And I don't know where I'm going to get the address from and all that kind of stuff. But today, I would love to write him a letter. A lot of concern I have for my country and my people and how we're being treated and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
So, if you can help me with an address, you and Mr. McField, I would greatly appreciate it. Anyhow, I also want to say that I heard an announcement the other day how the police officers are going to be out here working diligently during the Easter holidays. Okay? Well, down here in Newlands, the one thing we're left for them to do down here is to get some wings on the vehicle and just fly out to the main street, the way it was going on. I keep asking where are we going to get our road fixed down here? We can't get no answers. But I just want to say this morning that somehow they're going to get hurt down in Newlands, and it's not far away. God forbid me for saying it. But somehow they're going to get hurt down in here because it seems like nobody cares. And like I say, from the premier right down to whoever else that live on this street and other streets.
And that's because of speeding?
The speeding.
Mm-hmm.
And this stupid speed bump that you put in here, you can fly over that. Just with your hands, your legs, you just go right over. They just flying out the speed bump. They got no respect for the road. And the vehicles that is coming from in the back of our main road here that is using this road because they can pick up more speed when they make the corner and then got this one speed bump in about time they get to that. They do a slight ease and then they go right over it and go onto the stop sign. They just flying like women, men. They just fly like a bunch of idiots. You know, and I don't know what to say about it. I spoke to the premier office about it numbers of times, and I'm going back on them again this week here. But I just want to say that these cars, there's a car down in here that doesn't have a front bumper. And let me tell you something. They had this area for themselves this weekend, this Easter weekend. And I know I had no police officers in this area. I never seen none in this area. I never seen none on the main Newlands Road. So where it was out there scouring for the Easter weekend, I don't know about it working in Newlands. But I just want to say that, the investors to this island here, they was out there offering, toilets and garbage bins on their beaches that we can go and use during the Easter holidays. I am not here to pick on anyone, but I tell you the honest God through Mr. McField and Mr. O'Connor, to know that some other going to come out and say, oh, well, you know, you can use our beach here and there, and we're going to put toilets there for you, and we're going to put garbage in there. I can't recall anybody saying that came on all of my life. My beach, my beach, my beach, my beach, my beach. You understand? Mm-hmm. I just tell you how many beaches have been already sold out, and there's none left for us. Mm-hmm. You know? But I just want to say that something needs to be done here in Cayman in regards to the traffic. All of these vehicles that having half body taken off and all that kind of crap, and where the police officers are, what they're doing. And I got that situation in somebody's hand right now, so I'm waiting on to hear what the story is going to be about my ID. And I just want to say that I need some help getting a letter to Prince Charles.
Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah, and I understand that, but my suggestion would be not necessarily to Prince Charles, King Charles, sorry, but to the minister who has responsibility for the overseas territories. Yes. Because the monarch, while the monarch is the head of state, it's really the parliament that runs the country, as well as the possessions of the United Kingdom, of which the Cayman Islands is a part.
How would I go about getting through there to get the letter there to him?
Yeah, we can find you can find the that on a website. I'm sure if you have any difficulty in terms of someone getting it for you, that could be obtained, or even the Premier's office could provide that for you.
I don't want nobody in government to help me with this letter, Mr.
No, I'm not saying. I'm talking about you asking about the address.
Yes, I appreciate trying to get address. But I don't want none of them to put their hand on that, and I would never get to England. I just feel like all of the signatures you have to rest it and get in the garbage.
Okay,
you
well.
have 100 to change. That they go into the public transport about these IDs on the vehicles, these bigger banners, and where did that go? Nobody knows where that is said to.
Okay, if you need any assistance with us, let us know.
All right, thank you so much.
Let's grab another caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, O.C.
Hey, morning. Morning.
Good morning, Lord Graham. Yeah. I know I'm getting kind of close to that commercial thing, so I'm just throw a few things out there.
Okay.
O.C., I heard you talking about, that was a good piece you read about they're not loving us.
Mm-hmm.
But, O.C., you remember before they get these politicians get elected, they spend a lot of time with us playing dominoes and the likes, and we're always on the same level of thinking and with ideas, and it seems it's something to do with as soon as they get elected, they kind of like lose their mind. They sense to think how they don't think the same way they used to think when they used to be around us. I mean, because we all had the same ideas, we all knew what we had to do to solve it. Now, on the traffic, they can't even put in a proper bus service. I hear there's conversation about overhead rail. We can't put in bus service, but we got to go overhead rail. And farming, we're hearing that there might be a world shortage of food.
Mm-hmm.
I don't hear the politician jumping all over Mr. Altip and Ardendale's ideas of trying to feed the island, and Sir Alden, who have a 23-acre farm, and Mr. The Bernadette and Philip Borden, those people that have their farm out there in the Eastern District.
Mm-hmm.
I don't hear the politician all over those guys. I hear complaints from a lot of the farmers out east that they can't get this and they can't get that from the agriculture department. Some of them can't even get feed to their stock. So the politicians are not really helping that much, apparently. And quickly, that court decision or the suggestion that the judge made, apparently it seems that we should just abandon the whole criteria for qualifying and just keep the board, but they would make them make decisions using their discretion. That's what seems like to me.
Mm-hmm.
And to elaborate a little, take it a little further, where you said about they don't love us. What I want the people to do when they go home this evening, get around the table, get a piece of paper, give everybody a piece of paper, and let them write down, children and all, the problems that Caymanians have that they think was caused by politicians. And on the flip side, write down the problems that we as Caymanians and Caymanians have that politicians have done nothing to solve. So if I don't get them on the washing, I will get them on the rinsing. Okay?
Okay.
So that's my little piece. I don't want to elaborate too much.
Thank you.
Those titles there.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, we're going to a commercial break. We still have callers on hold. Please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
Are you feeling sick, but don't feel ill enough to go to the doctor? Ask your pharmacist for advice. Here at West Bay Pharmacy, our pharmacists have been trained to offer helpful, easy-to-understand advice on the treatment of everyday minor ailments for yourself and all the family. Anything from headaches, cough and sore throat, to cold sores, our pharmacists will know when medical help is needed and will not hesitate to refer you to your doctor if your symptoms demand it. Like doctors, our pharmacists have a professional code, which means all personal information you give them will be treated in the strictest confidence. Visit us today at West Bay Pharmacy, where we care about your health.
What's that? No sugar, same amazing taste? Coca-Cola Zero Sugar is here to stay. Classic taste, pure satisfaction. Be sure to stop into any Tortuga location and get your own case of Coke Zero. Or grab an ice-cold one straight from the cooler. Brought to you by Tortuga Distributors Limited. Coca-Cola, taste the feeling, Cayman.
Washing your clothes in cold water can save you 90% of your washing machine energy usage.
Using LED light bulbs uses 75% less energy than regular bulbs, and they last 25 times longer. Keeping your appliances and equipment cleaned and maintained regularly will reduce your monthly electricity bill.
The do-it-yourself energy audits on energy.gov.ky make it easy to find ways to save energy and money in your home or business.
Complete an energy audit of your home or business before 31st of May 2023 to be entered into a prize giveaway. Prizes include a $5,000 gift certificate to Home Gas and gift certificates to Cooling Pros, Foam Pros, Costyless, and Foster's.
To learn more, visit energy.gov.ky today and follow the National Energy Policy on Facebook and Instagram.
Tune in every Monday through Friday at 12 p.m. for Radio Cayman's Midday Newscast. Radio Cayman, the people's station, your trusted official source for the latest news. The 12 p.m. news is proudly brought to you by Health City Cayman Islands. World-class healthcare within your reach.
Attention all runners and walkers. It's time to lace up your shoes and join us for our annual Deputy Governor's 5K Challenge Run Walk event. Whether you are a seasoned runner or just looking for a fun way to get some exercise, this event is for you. Join us on April 16th in Cayman Brac, April 23rd in Little Cayman, and April 30th in Grand Cayman. Do something good for your body and have some fun while supporting our local community. Proceeds benefit Loud Silent Voices, the Cayman Islands Red Cross, and the United Against Bullying Foundation. The DG's 5K could not happen without support from our platinum sponsor, Appleby, and gold sponsors, Butterfield, Credit Union, DART, Davenport Development, EY, and our halfway point sponsor, Cynical. $25 for adults and $10 for kids 17 and under. Register at www.racecaribbean.net. Don't miss out on this opportunity to have fun, get fit, and support our community. See you at the start line.
System 1 loaded. 1-800-534-8255. What is on your mind when it comes to the government, independence, and the opposition? Issues that matter to you. 1-800-534-8255. Waiting to hear from you. For the Record.
This is For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. In the studio with me, Dr. Steve McField. We have two callers. Before I go to the caller, I just want to say I'm not taking credit for the phrase that I used earlier, how do I love thee? Let me count the ways. That is from sonnet number 43, written by Elizabeth Barrett Browning, somewhere in the 1850s. And while it was considered to be some sort of a love sonnet from her to her husband, the poet Robert Browning, I have sort of like taken it and twisted it around a little bit, sort of using what they call poetic license to do so as well. Let's go to the phone lines. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record. Good morning, caller. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, O.C.
Morning. How art thou?
I am fine. How are you guys?
Good morning, Mr. McLean. We're okay.
Yeah, I hear you and Graham and O.C. talking behind my back. I think. Okay?
Well, it wasn't bad. It was all good things, I hope.
Oh, yeah, I know you. I listen to you guys. Yeah, one of the things I want to touch on quickly is O.C. said government should invest in one of those machines that Beacon Farm has. And I totally support that. I am confident the minister knows about that machine, but we have been using it up there now about a month, I guess. And we have dug up about 4 acres of property with it.
Mm-hmm.
And it is we getting about between 16 and 18 inches of soil on the first pass. Now, the 275 acres of land that Frank McField bought when he was minister.
All right.
That's where the radar is and the mental health institution,
Mm-hmm.
which has taken up probably less than 50 acres they have taken up. So you're talking about 200 acres left, which they're planning on doing to give out to farmers. That would be the best investment government has ever done in the interest of sustainability in this country if they could do all of that property. Remember now, O.C. and Steve, that property was used for farming like the piece we're on many years ago by the Dean.
Mm-hmm.
And it is level. It was not total level, but it has been all the forest has been taken off it. So you're getting second and third growth there now. So it should have no ecological value at this stage as to the indigenous aspect of it. But that would be the best thing they could ever do, even if it's $750,000 to buy that piece of machine.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm looking forward to seeing if Minister Ebanks will invest in that for the farmers, because this country needs to get back to where it is self-sufficient with produce. Remember, we grew up in this country, the three of us, and I recall everybody had their little plantation. Nobody had to go to the shop to get plantains, yam, cassava. And you know what that can do for the economy of this country?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And Graham is right. You know, and Steve, you too. They told us that it couldn't be done.
That's right.
We are going to revolutionize farming in this country. And one day, hopefully, in the not too distant future, those school kids can come there and see what is possible, what is really possible in their country.
Yep.
Yeah, well, I was impressed. Perhaps they should be taking him there now to see what it looks like today, and then they can take them back there when you get all of those trees in that you said you are going to put in there, all the avocados trees, because I didn't realize how much avocados
are imported
are imported every month, and perhaps you can give us the numbers.
Yeah, when we looked at it, there's about 5,000 pounds of avocados imported every month in this country, and we are going. And those are the California ones, the hybrids. And we are going to be planting off. Right now we're getting ready within the next 2 weeks, 3 weeks, getting ready to put in 150 to 200 trees of avocados in that property up there, and a lot of that, a majority of probably 30% of it is going to be the ones from California as well. So, the potential is here. We just need to revolutionize it, like how the Israelis did. They did it in the desert, and Steve, you know about that in OC, and that's what needs to happen here. But it requires capital expenditure and the support of government itself. If we cannot pay lip service to it any longer, we're hoping to bring in 40 to 50 cows every quarter from Jamaica and Florida, alternating there, and that is what will give us the opportunity to kill anywhere between 2 and 5 cows per month.
That's enormous.
Per month? Only per month or per week?
At first we got start off per month.
Okay.
Then see how it goes per week. You see, because we need to have between 80 and 100 calves born each year. Okay, and that will give us then 2 to 3 per week.
Got you.
Yeah, and provide, and we are right now planting grass in about 15 acres, a different type of grass that has more protein, and we're using that machine to dig up. That's about 4 or 5 inches down to plant the grass seeds in, and that will give us the opportunity. So I'm figuring in a year time we're 200-300 cattle in there at any given time.
So it sounds like you finished with the politics now.
Yes.
Oh, sometimes there's blessing in disguise, eh?
Oh, yes, definitely. Sometimes one disappointment leads to another reward, and sometimes when decisions are being made, you don't know why they're being made, and sometimes you're resisting the making of the decision, but sometimes it's for the better. And I can tell you, Mr. McLean, that I have that experience. And so when I see things happening now that you can't control, I just let it go because I know it means a different experience is coming from me.
You know what Desirada says? Life unfolds.
Yes.
As it should. Okay?
Okay.
And I can tell you what I've done in this life. I can tell you what I'm doing. I ain't a venture to stick my head out to tell you what I will do. But I know what I'm doing. I don't know what, and I know what I've done, but I don't know what I'll do. I can do anything because this country is mine, and every Caymanian should respect it as that and make their contribution. I heard Graham also touched on that judge ruling about PR and stuff. Well, you know how I have viewed this for quite some time now, is that status, citizenship should be reserved for those who marry and by descent only.
I agree with you too.
And I have been all my life little controversial, but I've always said what I feel was in the best interest of this country. That's like I told this governor that just left. Any day you make a decision that is not in the best interest of the people of this country, I'm going to take you on, regardless of who you are. And this country, most people, I see people here saying that they're not single-use life. Well, my children is single domicile, They have no place to go. And if I don't prepare for them and my grandchildren for the future, then where are they going to go? They have no other country to go to. This is our country, and we must contribute thereto and not be afraid of doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And don't allow anyone to go home tonight wondering what was on your mind. Tell them now.
Yep.
Tell them now.
Yeah, so you're right again there.
Mm-hmm. Okay, we're going to go to a commercial break. Thanks again, and you will be paid more visits up there as well.
All right, come on up. We got a platform, and we can sit there and have some sodas and water and juice.
Okay, sounds good. Sounds good. Okay, we have two callers on hold still. We're going to ask those callers, hang in there. We're going to take a quick commercial break. When we return, we will accommodate calls, so please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
At Doctors Hospital, we know life happens, and usually when you least expect it. So when unexpected medical issues arise, you need quality care close to home. Located in the heart of Georgetown, our accomplished team of physicians and medical staff treat minor urgent conditions such as migraines, chest and abdominal pain, shortness of breath, burns, broken bones, open wounds, and more. 24 hours, 7 days a week with no appointment necessary. Peace of mind is important when life happens. At Doctors Hospital, we're always here just for you. Need to speak to someone? Call 949-6066.
If it's time for new appliances, hop on into the LG Appliance Easter Sale, now on at Brand Source Home Gallery. Save 15% off on LG appliances. Buy a 4-piece kitchen and you'll get a further 5% off. Yes, if you have older appliances that have seen better days, don't wait. Take advantage now of the LG Appliance Easter Sale. Hurry in. Sale ends Saturday, April 15th. Brand Source Home Gallery on Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park. Phone 623-5000.
Did you know that you can send money transfers to financial institutions anywhere in Jamaica with JN Money?
You mean I can send money straight to my account and cut out the middleman?
Yes, that's exactly what I mean. You send your own money to your own account, giving you peace of mind that the money is in your account.
JN Money Transfers to Financial Institution is another convenient service offered by JN Money. You can have this done from any JN Money location. Deposit your money straight to your account without the hassle of asking someone to do it for you. JN Money Transfers to Financial Institutions, making life easier.
Enjoy a magical night of arts and culture at Red Sky at Night, multidisciplinary arts fair at the Hockwell Cultural Center, Saturday 15th April from 2 to 11 p.m. With 4 stages of live music, dance, poetry, and theater performances. Over 100 artists and artisans. Creative Kids Corner, delicious food. Caymanian Village with traditional demonstrations and fireworks. There is so much to see and do at Red Sky at Night. Brought to you by the Cayman National Cultural Foundation. Early bird tickets are $15 and $25 at Funky Tanks locations, the CNCF office, or online at www.ticketsplus.ky. Gates open at 1:30 p.m.
Every boy, every girl, every mom, every dad, every student, every teacher, every scholarship provider. The annual Rotary Central Bill Rudy Science Fair is back. Saturday, April 22nd at the Ark Recreation Center, Camana Bay. A universe of science, invention, innovation, experimentation, botany, medicine, robotics, engineering. So much imagination, so much science. Your children, our children. The next Nikola Tesla, the next Albert Einstein, the next Stephen Jobs, budding climate scientists, maritime scientists, engineers, biomedical engineers. Hear them talk, see them show you how. The 16th Annual Rotary Central Science Fair, Saturday, April 22nd at the Ark Recreation Center, Camana Bay. This event is free to the public. Rotary, all that you can imagine.
For the record, with Orrett Connor.
Initiating system. For information that matters. For the record, with Orrett Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning, good morning, and welcome back to For the Record. We have 2 callers on hold. First caller, good morning, welcome.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
See, I'm fine, and yourself?
Fine, thanks.
Yes, Dr. McField as well is included in my morning.
Good morning, ma'am.
And to the listening public, our 2 callers touched on some of the things that I had to ask about. But anyway, we'll see, the topic this morning is very fitting. How do I love thee? Let me count thy ways. It's more like a question I want to ask you, because I'm sure you all have seen it. And if this is an approved method that we're coming into, that is these trailers or containers, whatever you want to call them. I have been so disgusted in going into residential places where people has their nice homes next door, and all of a sudden you can see 2, 3, 4 trailers parked around the properties of a nice home in the front, but you can see that they're cutting them. I've investigated from some of the neighbors who
when
have
you say
said
trailers or containers?
Containers.
Okay.
Yes, like what they bring goods into the country in. And I have investigated and asked some of these homeowners then, and they've said, girl, if you know how many times we've written to planning and written to government about trying to stop this, but it looks like we're getting nowhere. I think that every one of us Caymanians, even if we don't have them at or around our properties, we should stamp that out. And if they want to give a certain area for people to use them, so you'll know that when you're getting in that area, that's what you're going to find. Because some of them are using them for offices. They're using them for rentals for their employees that they have brought in for this boom of construction, that Caymanians that have been doing construction all their life and can't get a job, because I can name some of them that I know. When Jimmy Powell used to do building for that man on West Bay Road with them condominiums that were just 2 and 3 floors.
The Butlers.
Butler brothers. That's right. That those guys were known in Cayman as the ones that could put thousands of blocks up in a day. And I know that some of them are struggling to get work on a regular basis. They've gone to these sites, and before you even enter the gates, you can see no employment inside, no employment needed. So they can't even get in because there's a company that is there taking that. But these containers, I think we need to all speak out and object to them being in, or because it's just an eyesore, and it's very, very, very disgusting to see them. And then now that the government has shifted their cleanup from the end of the year to May to get ready, I hope that all of these derelict and vehicles that are all over the place and junk all over the place, that they will not just use it as a 1 week thing for some districts, because the districts have expanded by making so much roads and so much buildings and development that 1 week can't clear it up in no district, none, not even the smallest 2 of the districts that we have. And I think that government need to say that then after we get that one done, they'll do a cleanup then again then at the ending of the year after the hurricane season. But let me tell you, we need to all stand up against that. And that thing that the judge brought in, the other day I was in town, and I said to myself, because as it is, a lot of our people are going to have to be fleeing their own home. There's no way for us to get anywhere. And a lot are doing that. But sadly, you find that when we go to another man's country, you think that we will be able to do chores like walking animals to qualify to get points, to get residence in that person's country? No, I'm sure. And we are sitting back and keeping things that are making us lose. I agree it should be left for only people that marry and marriage should be the only how they obtain it. And I don't think that when they leave it for 10 years, that's what I think the limit was now, that they should change that. But then maybe they could, and then if the relationship broke before that time, because the things are possible to happen, then it would be rescinded right away, taken back right away. There'll be no, because I've heard that even when children are born here, now parents are going to get status on their child that was born in this country. All of that shouldn't happen because we have them. Caymanians can have babies without having to pay to have them, but you've got a lot of outstanding debt with people who have gone and just thrown themselves down because they came purposely to have a child here for that reason.
Caller, I'm going to ask you to leave us there. We want to try to accommodate the other caller before we go to our 9 o'clock news, but we certainly appreciate, what you have to say, and we will probably add a little bit more to that during the course of the show as well. Let's grab the next caller. That caller has been holding for quite a while. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Pleasant good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
I'm doing fine. Doc, how's it going with you?
Good morning, Mr. Morgan. How are you?
I am between fine and excellent. Yeah, listening to some of the previous callers, most of what I listen to, or so much of what I listen to, really reflects back to what we always talked about from 10 years ago, when we used to have these meetings in the West Bay Chapel and all of that, about having district council.
Yes.
You think if we had a proper district council in this island, or council, all of this could be going on? No, it couldn't happen. Because you have people with backbone want to form this district council. And in my honest opinion, we have lost it. I see a government that really doesn't care, doesn't take things serious into this country of what's happening. A lot of lip service. That is not good enough. That's not what we are asking for. That's not what we are expecting. And these politicians, oh my God, they see you from a distance and they turn their head and they start to drive off. Good for you. And we have so many, I just not fancy a name for them, that when election time come around, because of a $200 or $50, they go and hug them up. We are in dire straits, gentlemen, and let's talk about going to another country. I am a fighter. I will go down in history as a good fighter like many of us. But there comes a time in life, it's not somebody running you from your country, but when you see your country being devoured, coming into this island like a pile of wolves and taking over and telling you this is your country and blah, blah, blah. What's wrong with the government of the day that Caymanians cannot be held up on a pedestal and say, this is our people, we have to look for them? If we're not careful, it's going to be like when I had some construction sites, you take all of the scraps and pieces of board and lumber and you put it in a heap ready to take it away. That's how Caymania is facing right now. They will take us and do like that and get rid of us. They will not even leave our footprints here. People that form the real foundation of this country, like the seamen, for example. We, in those that has gone along, we should have a special place in this island, like United States, a cemetery for the seamen that built this place, sought the foundation, and now you got all of these people coming from nowhere and saying they built this country. You haven't even had a good dose of salt water in your face, my friend, and now you come and playing off like this is your country. This is not your country. We have people that allowed you to come into this place and get the benefit and reap the benefits of this country, and now you're telling us that wherever you come from. I will say so on this show. When we had the last meeting before election in West Bay, this developer from South Africa came into the meeting. You know what his words were to me in the whole audience? I'm from South Africa. I'm a developer in this island. I'm a multi-millionaire. What you guys are doing trying to stop my project is a done deal. That's what he said, a done deal.
Wow.
So he must have known what he's talking about.
Yeah.
Rightly so. Look, I'm not going to take up all your day, but this country right now, what we need is a uprising, not but a revolution. We need to stand up and say what we need into this country and who is going to follow me. Like when we started to keep the West Bay Road open, some was honking the horns for us and some making fun of us. My friend, we are up dire straits, and until we get enough brass to start up a real movement, we are doomed. Gentlemen?
Mr. Morgan.
Yes, sir.
What we need is the constitutional power to make the decision for our own country. And I have been telling you and the Caymanian people for so long that we do not have that. So whose country is it? When other people can dictate to us, and when we take laws down to the Legislative Assembly and we say this is what our people want us to do, and we have the mandate for our people because we went to the election on this mandate, and then somebody else can come and say, I'm sorry, but we don't that's not what we want to do, and can override you, then who's the country belong to?
Okay, folks, we have to go to our headline news. We still have callers on hold. Please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back immediately after headline news.
From district to district, moving through the waters to Cayman Brac and Little Cayman. Your station, your voice. All things Cayman. One radio, many people. This is home.
Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands.
Today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman. Your voice, your choice. Local, regional, international. This is headlines from Radio Cayman's newsroom. Today's biggest news.
The headline news is brought to you by Health Services Authority.
An application for a new $1.1 million Montessori school to cater to children in West Bay and the 7 Mile Beach corridor is heading before the Central Planning Authority Board today. They'll hear a pitch from Montessori West for a preschool, 2 signs, and associated facilities at a site on Captain Reginald Parsons Drive. U.S. President Joe Biden says he hopes Northern Ireland parties will return to power sharing soon in a speech hailing 25 years of peace. Addressing a small audience in Belfast, he said protecting peace in Northern Ireland is, quote, something that brings America together. Earlier, Biden said he was, quote, here to listen as he held brief talks with the United Kingdom Prime Minister before meeting Northern Ireland political leaders. Northern Ireland has not had a functioning developed government since the United Unionist Party walked out over post-Brexit arrangements. There's a huge police presence in Belfast as the U.S. president begins his 4-day visit to Northern Ireland and the Republic of Ireland. Biden's visit marks the 25th anniversary of the Good Friday Agreement, a peace deal which helped end 30 years of violent conflict in Northern Ireland. Those are your headlines. I'm Carsley Fuller.
For the latest in news and information,
follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Download the Radio Cayman app or log on to our website, radiocayman.gov.ky.
The headline news are brought to you by Health Services Authority.
HSA's cardiology clinic is now located at Smith Road Medical Center. Our cardiology team provides expert care and treatment for heart conditions such as coronary artery disease, heart failure, arrhythmias, hypertension, congenital heart diseases, among others. The new location offers state-of-the-art cardiac diagnostic testing, including echocardiograms, ECGs, and stress tests. To contact, call 949-8600. At HSA, your heart matters to us.
For the record, with Orrett Connor.
Initiating system. For information that matters. For the record, with Orrett Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. Dr. McField has stepped out for a second. He'll be back in the studio soon. So one of our listeners has written and said, and then when election time comes around, they tell you to vote for them. Well, you need to ensure that you hold your representatives accountable. You also need to ensure that when someone comes to you to say vote for them, you want to know exactly what you are voting for. Not necessarily who, but what are you voting for? What commitments are they making, even though it may be difficult for them to keep those commitments, but at least they can say exactly what their vision are for the Cayman Islands. And for those of you who complain about the single member constituencies, that has made representation and the campaigning more personalized as well, because each individual, rather than a group of, someone from a group of 4 or 5 coming around and say, well, vote for the group of us, the 5 in our district, but you never get an opportunity necessarily to talk to those 5 persons. But with the single member constituencies, yes, you can hold the persons accountable. And let me say this to you also. When you have representatives of that individual who's running for office coming around, you should tell them, I don't want to talk to you. You're an acolyte of the candidate. I don't want to talk to you. I want to talk to the candidate. So when you're coming to my house to try to convince me to vote for that individual, bring the individual with you. Bring the individual with you as well. Any callers on hold, Ms. Susan? One caller, let's grab the caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Yeah, good morning, OC. How you doing?
Good morning. I'm fine. How are you, my friend?
I go to here on the block, man. I go down the block. Just listening to your comments there. It's so true. And that last caller there, I have to agree with him with what's happening in this country here, because I am not going to use this thing about Romans. We are not no more Romans in this country. I don't know what's going on, but it's come up to that time where they're going to be coming knocking. And I want to tell the people of Cayman Brock especially, when they come knocking, run them out on the yard. Because for the last 3 years, 2 years and a half, we haven't seen none. We haven't heard none. And we haven't had any help from none of them. So when they start coming running, don't be afraid. Underneath, stand up and run them from on the yard. Simple as that, OC, because we are struggling. And I would like to mention one thing I heard you talking about this morning was the vehicles. You and Dr. Steve there about the vehicles.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So see, I've said it time and time again, for a small country like Cayman Brock, you do the math of 5 cars per week, per month, per year, you're looking about 240 to 250 to 60 vehicles for this little island.
Wow.
And you might, people might be listening saying it's not much, or see the rate of vehicles that had grown on this country, this little island here in the last 2 years. You would be shocked to see how much vehicles are on the road in this island. And it's sad to know that Gene got nothing, and I call them nothing, because see, I am not as old as you and Dr. Steve, and thank God that the two of you there and on a strong, holding strong and on voicing on a strong opinions for the Cayman Islands.
Thank you.
Hold to what I do and don't back down from no one. But I am a young man, and I am willing to fight for whoever want me to fight for them, because I have been listening to too much promises and lies, and all they do is wait till that time comes, and they bring more lies, and that time is election time. We need to come out of that. See, my father said, "A comfort a fool, a promise
yes.
a fool's heart." And we need to come out of that lie. We cannot be no more fools. Our own people are fooling us, because when you think about the construction company here, and that gentleman that just spoke, I know him, with the construction company, we have no young people that coming out of school that can go into the construction company, because all construction companies on Cayman Brock has nothing but expats. I've been saying it, OC. I know you because you joined customs with my sister. Sadly, she's not here no more.
Immigration,
yeah, you know. And the thing about it, OC, what our government needs to put in place is a system the same way as the United States have. When you come to that airport, you tell them plain and straight, listen, you have 6 months to remain, or 3 months, whatever the U.S. thing is. I think it's 6 months. After that, you find your way out. It's not about 9 years, or so you know how much depleting 9 years can do to a country. 6 to 9 years, or so you give a personal work permit. How in the world are children going to have something when they come out of school, or see? What's happening are people have wet sleep, and when they woke up, they kept their eyes closed. They won't open their eyes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And caller, if I may, I was talking to someone last week about that, or it may have been this week, and because the legislation says that a person can be granted work permits for up to 9 years. Year 8, you apply for permanent residence. You have the ability to. People believe that 9 years is something that is automatic, that they're entitled to it. And, and I think that needs to be explained, to them as well. The person was saying to me that the individual that they were talking to say, I have a work permit for 9 years.
Yes. So you know what they do? Between the time that they come here and the government give them that clearance, they goes and they buy a piece of land and build a house, and by the time you realize they already put roots down on, especially here in Cayman Brac.
Yeah.
And then how the government then got run them off the island? They got a house now. They got to say, well, all right, since you got your house or your piece of land, come inside and go get your papers.
Well, because the courts say they have the right to family life.
See, that's what they do.
But just let me take you one further, a little further, with the respect to all the vehicles that are in the island. There are some people on work permits in this country with 11 cars, 10 cars, and ownership of those vehicles, those cheap vehicles from Japan. And what they're doing with them, they're using them to make more money, because what they're doing with them, they're renting them. The rental does not comply with the rental of vehicles law. It does not comply with the provisions. It does not comply with the insurance that you have to have with rental vehicles. Mm-hmm. And so they have no respect for the law of the country. And we're not doing anything about it, because the Premier was on here some time ago, and I called in and I reminded him that that under our Constitution, Section 16, it says that the discrimination section does not apply in respect to the entry into or exclusion from or the employment, engagement in any business or profession, movement or residence within the Cayman Islands of persons who are not Caymanians. So I asked him, so since we have all of that opportunity under the Constitution to regulate who comes into the island, what they can do, where they can move, where they can stay, etc.,
and movement.
Why don't we then say, put a condition when they come on their work permit, you're not, you cannot import a car without the government's permission, or you cannot take fish or conch or anything from the sea without a license from the government. You just can't go out there and do that to supplement your income,
exactly,
or to feed yourself without a government permission. Why is that so hard to do when the Constitution said that we can do it? And I don't understand why we're not pushing the envelope, the constitutional envelope to protect the environment, to protect ourselves. I just do not get it.
Because the other side is using the Constitution because
the other side using the Constitution against us to say that if you come here and spend 9 years and so forth, you are entitled to family life.
Yep.
I can't go too far in that, because I'm wearing 4 hats. The government.
Go ahead, caller.
Let me say something before I leave. Thanks, Doctor. The thing why it is that you say you can't understand why the government won't do, I can clearly tell anyone that listening on this radio why the government can't do, especially stopping these foreign people from fishing on our shores, because, like I said over on the talk show, you go to another country, you have to produce a license in order to
That's right.
or take anything from our country. Our leaders brought these people here in order to get extra votes, and that is the reason they want to say anything or put no laws against these people coming into the country, because they feel that if they do that, they won't have their back in when the time comes. And I don't care who like it and who don't. throw the rock in the pig pen if he squeal, let him squeal, but I can tell him one thing. I am not going to shy away in telling about anything different. What my voice say is what my voice say, and our people need to be stronger and stand up against these rules and regulations. Government had laid down rules where the Caymanians can't go to the group of hoes, get groupers. That time has come where we gave them enough chance for them things to multiply, and now the Caymanians still can't get nothing, and now they come to the point they even went as far as taking the cats from us. Now they want to take our lives from us. We can't feed ourselves. Now everything going up in the stores. We can't get nothing in the stores to eat because people's salaries are not meeting the criteria or what they have to live by in life. Oh, see, Dr. C, we are headed down a spiral, I said it before, and if the people do not wake up, we won't be able to stop ourselves because we won't have no standing and no backing. And the more we put these old weak-minded people up inside there that only there to fatten up their pocket, we are not going to get no help. I don't care who they put there. Okay. We have to put people inside there that are strong, like how Arden was. Let me tell you something. If they had 4 more like him, the Cayman Islands would be the Cayman Islands. Anyway, gentlemen,
thank you.
I thank God and I talk to him again.
Thank you very much. How don't I love thee? How don't, not do. How don't I love thee? Let me count the ways. We have a list, and that list will grow on a daily basis. One of our listeners has said, written and said, I thought that the government was no longer allowing temporary work permits. Well, that has changed. That has changed as well. We'll talk a little bit more about that as well. But first, we have to take a commercial break. Folks, please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
Since March 2004, West Bay Pharmacy has kept their doors open to the local communities, even before, during, and after Hurricane Ivan. At West Bay Pharmacy, our staff provides so much more than pharmaceutical excellence. From the moment you walk through our doors to completing your cash out, our staff will have put your healthcare concerns at ease. We would like to take this moment to thank our loyal friends and customers. To us at West Bay Pharmacy, our patients are our primary concern. We provide thorough background checks and precise calculations to ensure your medical safety. Thank you for being a part of our family and for choosing West Bay Pharmacy, where we care about your health.
What's that? No sugar, same amazing taste? Coca-Cola Zero Sugar is here to stay. No one can stop me when I taste the classic taste, pure satisfaction. Be sure to stop into any Tortuga location and get your own case of Coke Zero. Or grab an ice cold one straight from the cooler. Brought to you by Tortuga Distributors Limited. Coca-Cola, taste the feeling, Cayman.
Tune in Monday through Friday at 7 a.m. and 10 p.m. for the Daily Sports Report, covering local, regional, and international sports. Proudly brought to you by Dr. Wayne Porter, offering a full-service dermatology and dermatological surgery practice. Call 946-9020 to book your appointment today.
Doing a kitchen renovation? At Granite Express Cayman, we can help you with fresh new kitchen cabinets and countertops in less than 4 weeks. When designing your dream kitchen, it's important to balance timeless features that reflect your personality and design aesthetic. Granite Express Cayman is offering a great package rate for custom-built cabinets, kitchen respray, and kitchen countertops with granite and quartz stone. Call 922-0424 for a free estimate. Granite Express Cayman, friendly service and fast installation. Hurry, offers valid while supplies last. Visit graniteexpresscayman.com.
For the record, with Orrett Connor.
Initiating system. For information that matters. For the record, with Orrett Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. I'm going to throw a little bit of balance into all of this as well. And while at the same time, we are critiquing and our politicians, at the same time, we do have an announcement here to make. Georgetown Central midterm public meetings. Honorable Kenneth Bryan, MP, Thursday, April the 20th. The waterfront event venue next to the Royal Water Terminal, Seafarers Way, Georgetown. Come and be informed. Refreshments will be served. So the Honorable Kenneth Bryan will be having a midterm public meeting Thursday, the 20th of April. I don't see a time on there, so the minister may want to send that additional info. Maybe it is on part of it. No, I'm looking for it. Give us a time when the meeting will commence as well. Sorry, Doc, you were going to say something.
Yeah, I would just like to clarify something that the last caller, sure. I think you said about the government say they were not accepting any more temporary work permits. That's not true. What the government said they were going to do, you had to advertise for a temporary work permit.
Right. Yeah.
But they did not ever say that they were not accepting any temporary work permits or they were not giving out any temporary work permits. What they said, you had to advertise them.
Exactly.
But they changed their mind on that now
as well. So and this is I received this on the 5th of April. This was an email that was sent when we were discussing it, and unfortunately I was unable to read it, but I'll share this now. The person wrote and said, I'd like to add my comments to the discussion on temporary work permits. Person says, for 2 years I've been trying to hire a replacement for one of my employees who wishes to retire. After more than 2 years, I located a prospective employee. Your comments about temporary permits being for temporary work sounds right, but when full 1 year work permit applications take 6 to 12 months to be processed, there is no incentive not to apply for a temporary permit. Like a pancake, everything has two sides. And that observation by the writer has to be acknowledged as well. That
sure.
Some people,
of course,
the reasons that they have given is that it takes too long for a 1 year application to be processed.
Why should it take that long?
And that is for the technocrats and the boards to deal with that and to ensure that things are prioritized. But it goes to show you also the extent of the number of applications that are being processed. In most instances, work permits that are issued, they're not, unless the applicant requests 1 year, they get the 1 year. But if they ask for 2 years or maybe even sometimes 3 years, they will get the 3 years. So it means that you don't have to process that application again for either a 2 year or a 3 year period. But because of the rapid pace of development in this country, the work is being bombarded with applications. You have the business staffing plan in place, which if you are employing more than 15 individuals, you apply through the business staffing plan. But you could opt to, even if you have less than that. So there are various options that people have, but the pressure on work permit applications is still there. Many of them genuine applications, many of them being submitted simply to accommodate an individual to get them here, because once they know once they get here that they're going to find work, whether they find it legitimately or illegitimately, they're going to find it.
Yeah, and it's my understanding that they're processing. They're not processing. They have applications up to 4,000 to 5,000 a month. I mean,
and that's with boards. That's with boards dealing with them as well as administrators.
Yes, so that's a lot of people applying to come here to work in Cayman. That's a lot of people. And just while but not only just working, while we were, Lord Graham and I were passing the old immigration department where you once worked, we saw this crowd of people out there. I think it was yesterday. Yesterday was Tuesday, yesterday, and we were saying, why were all these people out there? And they were outside waiting to get inside because they were asking for an extension. That's where you go for an extension now to stay. So I mean, that was a lot of people.
Because that's Customs and Border Control,
yes, right.
as opposed to work
opposed
that deals
to works,
with the application for the work permit.
So they come here in Elgin Avenue when they want to extend
regularize their stay or yes. Oh, just a correction also, Minister Bryan's meeting is at 7 p.m. It was at the bottom of the advert, and rather than being in a bold color, it was sort of like in a yellowish orangish color that I couldn't see at the time. At 7 p.m., April the 20th, that will be taking place. Okay, any callers on hold, Ms. Susan? If no callers, let's shift gears a little bit. Doc, I was telling you earlier off the air that even though I didn't see anything in our local newspapers about this, at least the one that I follow, because I refuse to subscribe to one of the online newspapers. The overseas territory speakers met in Anguilla, and they issued a communique afterwards, after the meeting. And the headline in the Royal Gazette, the Bermuda newspaper, is Overseas Territory Speakers Demand Ring-Fence Funding for Legislative Buildings. Demand ring-fence funding. Now what that entails, and there's a photograph here showing the various speakers. Dennis Lister, who's the speaker for the House of Assembly in Bermuda, and our own speaker here, Ms. Catherine Ebanks-Wilkes, as well there. But the article starts off by saying that London should provide ring-fence funding to ensure each overseas territory's legislature has a dedicated building to meet in. A conference of senior parliamentarians has said. Dennis Lister, Speaker of the House of Assembly, attending the gathering in Anguilla this week, representing Bermuda, as the call for extra resources was made. The Common and Overseas Territory Speakers Conference issued a statement calling on Britain to allocate special resources for legislative buildings to ensure such funding is not postponed or cancelled in the face of competing priorities. A note to the statement said that it was needed, particularly in the case of Montserrat, Anguilla, and St. Helena. So they were really speaking on behalf of those other smaller territories. A video, and talks about a video of it. But it is a little bit, to me, yes, they used to call us a dependent territory before.
Yes.
They changed that to, because of the optics and for it to sound politically correct as a British overseas territory. But when we look at some of the salaries that are commanded by our legislators here in the Cayman Islands, they get a good, quite a pretty good penny, for attending meetings at the Legislative Assembly and representing. So I can understand the call to assist St. Helena, Anguilla, and Montserrat. But for the other overseas territories, I have my questions about that. I know in Bermuda, their building is called Sessions House, and they're going through a renovation period with that's costing several $1 million, but that was halted during the coronavirus situation. But again, we see overseas territories calling for assistance, financial assistance.
From Britain.
But we don't hear many of them. We don't hear the Cayman Islands, and you mentioned this the day to me off air, and we'll talk a little bit about that. Reparations. And the fact that when we talk about the ending of the slave trade and the £20 million that the United Kingdom gave to all of those slave owners who were affected by emancipation.
By losing their property.
Right. That there was an attempt that was made here in Cayman for the same thing to be done as well. But not many countries are talking about reparations. We see even in the United States and in California, they're talking about it, but they're wanting money for legislative buildings.
So how did we get our legislative building built?
Built it ourselves.
We built it ourselves from out of our own pockets. It goes to show how they're still looking to Europe for neocolonialism to continue, and that is one of the problems that we have in the Caribbean, and that is the people didn't like us for many decades because they say that we were different from the other Caribbean countries, and because we have this independent spirit. I call it a rugged individualism. This independent spirit. We never depended on anyone to get us. We always said, we may not have political independence, but we have our own economic independence because we work very hard for what we get. And here are other people around us now are holding out their hand to these people for to give them something else, and then at the same time having their people come to us and to other people, to other countries now looking for work and looking for a better life. It to me it's a crass contradiction of what they say, and they say that if you want to measure a man, don't look at what he says, look at what he does.
Yes. Okay, good point for us to take a commercial break, folks. Please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
West Bay Pharmacy. Personalized medicine, customized care to meet your specific needs. Your body is unique to you. Your medicine should be too. Whether you're seeking individual specific medication, correct size dosages, or simply better tasting medicine, ask your pharmacist or healthcare provider about how compounding at West Bay Pharmacy can increase your treatment options, not only for your family, but for your pets too. West Bay Pharmacy, open Monday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 8 p.m., Sundays and most holidays from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m.
If it's time for new appliances, hop on into the LG Appliance Easter Sale now on at Brand Source Home Gallery. Save 15% off on LG appliances. Buy a 4-piece kitchen and you'll get a further 5% off. Yes, if you have older appliances that have seen better days, don't wait. Take advantage now of the LG Appliance Easter Sale. Hurry in. Sale ends Saturday, April 15th. Brand Source Home Gallery on Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park. Phone 623-5000.
She hear clunk and her car stop. I was just about to send her some money, so I send it straight to her JN Money Transfer card. It cost me less, and perhaps she use the card, pay the garage right away. She'll get discount through the JN Rewards program in Jamaica. This card make things easy. You can even get funds at any multi-link ATM.
JN Money Transfer Card. Fast, affordable, convenient. Tell your loved ones in Jamaica about it. Sign up is free.
Radio Cayman News.
Curtin goes on the record to explain the rapid departure of Chris Saunders from cabinet.
There were issues of conduct with Mr. Saunders. I ended up having to make a very, very difficult decision.
Saunders contradicts statements about the how and why of Mr. Saunders' departure from cabinet.
Radio Cayman. Your voice, your choice for today's biggest news.
For the record with Orrett Connor.
Initiating system. For information that matters. For the record with Orrett Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. In the studio with me, Dr. Steve McField. So, Doc, what you said earlier about the way that we were perceived by our neighbors, and especially in the Caribbean, and there was some truth to that, though, because we and our officials had a tendency at times when they went off to conferences, and nothing wrong with this to a certain extent, highlighting how successful we are in the Cayman Islands, but you don't take it and you don't rub it in people's face. You don't remain aloof from them. There were many regional conferences that we did not participate in, and it was only on becoming an associate member of CARICOM that we actually started to get our foot in the door. Whether or not we still have that foot in the door, or whether or not we're trying to get the second foot in the door, but there are many contributions that we can make to CARICOM. At the same time, there were benefits that we received. For instance, the Caribbean Development Bank. We received loans from them. Now, we may have at times complained about the terms and conditions of those loans because it was what they call a basket of currencies. When you received the loan, it wasn't necessarily in U.S. dollars. It may have been in euros. It may have been in, something else, and your repayment of those loans would have been based on that. But we had, and we still have, a lot to learn from being a member, even if it's just an associate member of CARICOM. Just a few days, I was talking to someone and they were wondering, why aren't we trying to recruit workers that we obviously need, from more Caribbean countries rather than going all the way over to Asia to recruit people. We have our Caribbean neighbors, some that are under tremendous amount of pressure when it comes to employment. We still have Caymanians living in places like Isle of Pines, and while there may be a language barrier to a certain extent, there are many of them who speak English as well. Why aren't we doing more to recruit those persons who, at least at some point in time, may have a legitimate claim to some security of tenure here in the Cayman Islands? So one of our listeners has written and said, and Doc, maybe you can answer this. It says it's a question for both of us. It says the people in Cayman know that permanent residence and status should be further restricted. Is there any hope that this will ever be done? And if so, what is the basis of that hope? So let's address the first part of the question. Is there any hope that there will ever be any restriction to permanent residence and Caymanian status?
I don't know. I don't know. There's a review of the law right now, which a committee that I'm heading. There's a review of the Immigration Transition Law 2021 revision. We have not finished our review yet. In fact, we are reaching a point now where we are coming to the public to get a public input. And then it's from that last stage of the review when we will be ascertaining the public's view, that we will then do a report to the cabinet as to what our findings are, and it would be up to the government to do what that is the point that I want to get up, because I'm reading this as saying, is there a political appetite to restrict permanent residence and Caymanian We don't know. That will be up to the. They can accept our recommendation, or they can reject them, because they are the ones who designated us to review the law on their behalf, and so it's up to them. I can't answer that question myself because I would have nothing to do with it.
And the other part of the question, if there is hope, then what is the basis, for that hope? I would say that when reality hits home, and it is starting to hit home slowly but surely. We see, as far as the traffic situation is concerned, what that is causing, right? We see that. We hear, and I believe that we would hear more from the general public if they had a more consistent and a more open platform.
They were informed more. They had the information. They had the information too.
Yes.
Because I haven't. This is the only year I haven't gotten a copy of the census. Usually, I on the boards and stuff, they give you a copy. I haven't had a copy of it. But the 2021 census stated that the population was some 71,000. Well, you can use your imagination now, because since that, the population is now 80,000, more than 80,000 now. So how many thousand people has now entered in Cayman since 2021? That would be like 8 to 9,000 more people. And if you are processing 4,000 to 5,000 work application for work permits per month, then that will tell you that in a couple of years, if nothing is done, in a couple of years the country will have nearly 200,000, 100,000, or just about around the 100,000 mark. So people should take those statistics, and they should go to their MPs, and they can ask them for the answers that this person is trying to get from us. The statistics are there, and all they have to do is read them and interpret them, and they'll see that if you continue this trend for the next 2 years, that our population is going to rise to be more or less around 100,000 mark. And if people are allowed to bring in vehicles like they are doing, vehicles that they are doing, if you can imagine now that 80,000 people have all these vehicles on the island, what happens when there's another 20 to 30,000 people added on to them? How many more vehicles going to be on the island? How many roads are we going to have to build? How many roads will we need to come get the vehicles? How many buildings? Because if you notice, and I did this a couple of days ago with Lord Graham, we drove around. I would say 1/3 of the land, or nearly half of the land in which the buildings are erected on, half of that goes to parking vehicles. Half of that go to parking vehicles.
Look at Central Georgetown. All of the land has been acquired just simply for parking.
For parking.
Now, later on, it can be converted to to buildings and stuff. But
But I lived in a city called Vancouver, British Columbia. It's one of the most beautiful cities in the world. They have city planning. They have an urban. They have an urban planner. They have a department of urban development. And when I was there, they gave it to a guy, an urban architect called Mas Erickson, and they asked him to plan the city for them. In Vancouver, you don't see any cars downtown. The buses, the cars, they have parking outside the city, and you come into the city in buses, and you go out of the city in buses and get into your cars. And when I was at University of British Columbia, and I was in, I did some research for a professor called Al Smith, and he was writing a book called American Impact on Canada. And I had the opportunity to go to Denmark and Sweden to look at some of the urban development there. And I was surprised to see that there were no cars down in Denmark and Sweden also. The train comes in from outside the city, and at the train station there were thousands and thousands of bicycles and bicycle racks, and people got off the train. They got onto their bicycles and they rode in the city to their jobs, and they rode back again, put their bicycle into their rack, and got onto the train and went into the suburbs and live. And that's how they do. They have urban planning. The cities should not be about car parking. Cities should be about human development, about the human, the person. The quality of life in the city should be what it's about, not how many cars that you are importing. It should be about, and so I find that there's no policy here towards urban development.
We wait until the situation becomes a problem, and then we attempt to address it rather than deal with it. And on the permanent resident side of things, and I've said this over and over, and I'm going to repeat it again. In the mid to late 1990s, when Baroness Scotland, who is now the Secretary General of the Commonwealth, she was then Minister for the Overseas Territories. She met with the members of the Caymanian Protection Board in that old building right across from the government administration building. And she told us then that the problem that we have, as far as Caymanian status and security of tenure, lies within our permanent residence system. And you see what has happened? It has come back to bite us.
Yes.
Through the Court of Appeals
Yes.
ruling. Now, I noticed that one of the lawyers who is with the law firm that brought this motion on behalf of their clients is asking or seems to be appealing to the government not to, I guess, I'm putting in my words, take drastic action as far as permanent residence in the policy is concerned. That tells me that he knows that there's an avenue that the Cayman Islands government can take to address this, and he's asking them not to do so. We have to take our last commercial break. Folks, please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
At Doctors Hospital, we know life happens, and usually when you least expect it. So when unexpected medical issues arise, you need quality care close to home. Located in the heart of Georgetown, our accomplished team of physicians and medical staff treat minor urgent conditions such as migraines, chest and abdominal pain, shortness of breath, burns, broken bones, open wounds, and more. 24 hours, 7 days a week with no appointment necessary. Peace of mind is important when life happens. At Doctors Hospital, we're always here just for you. Need to speak to someone? Call 949-6066.
Ensuring your walls, ceilings, and floors are properly sealed against air leaks is an important step in lowering your monthly energy bills. Even small gaps around windows, under doors, or around lighting and plumbing fixtures can add up to as much air loss as having an open window.
The do-it-yourself energy audits on energy.gov.ky make it easy to find ways to save energy and money in your home or business.
Complete an energy audit of your home or business before 31st of May 2023 to be entered into a prize giveaway. Prizes include a $5,000 gift certificate to Home Gas and gift certificates to Cooling Pros, Foam Pros, Costyless, and Foster's.
To learn more, visit energy.gov.ky today and follow the National Energy Policy on Facebook and Instagram.
Look at you, listening to the radio, tuning in, getting stuff done. Total doer. Maybe you're driving, maybe you're getting your oil changed, or grabbing some chicken. Maybe you're doing something that's nobody's business but yours. Hey, that's cool. We're all doing something. Now you can join a whole new community of doers doing more on findyellow.com. With custom search, local experts, and trusted reviews, whatever you're doing, get it done on findyellow.com.
Tune in every Monday through Friday at 12 p.m. for Radio Cayman's Midday Newscast. Radio Cayman, the People's Station, your trusted official source for the latest news. The 12 p.m. news is proudly brought to you by Health City Cayman Islands. World-class healthcare within your reach.
Hey moms and dads, get the whole family to lace up your shoes and join us for our annual Deputy Governor's 5K Run Walk Challenge. Whether you're a seasoned runner or just looking for a fun, healthy family activity, this event is for you. Join us on April 16 in Cayman Brac, April 23 in Little Cayman, and April 30 in Grand Cayman. Do something good for your body and have fun while supporting our local community. Proceeds benefit Loud Silent Voices, the Cayman Islands Red Cross, and the United Against Bullying Foundation. The DG's 5K could not happen without support from our platinum sponsor, Applebee, and gold sponsors, Butterfield Credit Union, DART, Davenport Development, EY, and our halfway point sponsor, Cynical. $25 for adults and $10 for kids 17 and under. Register at www.racecaribbean.net. Don't miss out on this opportunity to have fun, get fit, and support our community. See you at the start line.
For the record, with Orrett Connor.
Initiating system. For information that matters. For the record, with Orrett Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. We're in the last leg of the show this morning. Those of you who are trying to call in, we may be experiencing some difficulties with our phone lines again, so we apologize for that. But we're going to encourage the person to try one more time and let's see whether or not we can get through. One of our listeners has said, Doc, that I have been waiting for my work permit refund for months, and now they are not returning my emails or my phone calls. They told me the check would be ready weeks ago. I don't know what more I can do except to call a lawyer. So that person is having difficulty with that. Let me see what else we have. This person says, Dr. McField, I was there too for a night and day. Went by a ferry from Victoria, also to New Brunswick, St. John's. Yes, those provinces are beautiful, and this person says, if we don't stop or slow down the building that is taking place in the islands, then the population is going to escalate and there will be nothing that the government can do about it. Thanks. Hotel buildings they're referring to. There's a saying, you know, if you build it, they will come, and I believe that we subscribe to that theory. So we do have a caller, Ms. Susan. Let's try to call her. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning again.
Good morning again.
Yeah, called 14 times. Couldn't get on. Okay, see, you read something that somebody sent in concerning, I think, like moratorium on PR or something, and Dr. McField answered.
Yeah, the person says the people in Cayman know that permanent residence and status should be further restricted. They then ask the question, is there any hope that this will ever be done? And if so, what is the basis of that hope?
Yes, and my good friend there said that the hope is that they're doing a review. But we'll see how long will this review take. And he said that now they're going to eventually go to the public. How long will that take? By time the review reach cabinet, they would be on their way out. And you know how that is. Once one cabinet go out and the next one come in, they don't pay no attention to what the other one have done. Mm-hmm. So that's sit on the shelf.
Yeah, and one government can't bind the other.
Right. What we got to do? We got to start all over again, and Dr. McField got to have to do another review.
Well, I don't think I'll be there for another review. I'll tell you the truth.
Half of the people I think that is on your review, not even on the same level with you, because I heard about them long time ago where they too wanted to grow the population to up to 200, not 100,000, but 200, 250,000. So, where are we headed? When are we going to make the decision? Do we have to do a review to make a decision so they can blame it on somebody else?
I don't think so. I think that the review is the legitimate review. I think Cabinet does have the problems on their order in their minds, and they want to solve it. But I think that they do not want hitches again. They don't want a quick review. They don't want something that is cosmetic. They want something that is thorough, that they can make a complete review of the law and present it. And that's what they've asked us to do, and that's what we're doing. And for those people, you know, I don't believe that. I haven't seen the Court of Appeal judgment. But what I read in the paper, it didn't say that. It didn't say the Court of Appeal didn't rule on whether or not the point system was unconstitutional. It didn't say that. I think what I understood is the applicant was appealing on the grounds that he didn't get enough points, or that the boards didn't give him enough points, and that they had made error in calculating his points and so forth. The Court of Appeal ruled that he didn't have enough points, and they ruled against him on that. But what the Court of Appeal went about and said, by the way, That's mean it's not a judgment. It's not part of the judgment, but this is what their opinion says, that the government of the Cayman Islands should find a way outside the point system to give people, let people stay when they have not reached the 110 points max, the minimum 110 points that allows them to stay. I mean,
that's no more than testing the waters to see what us, the public, opinion will be about that.
Well, it's testing the waters to see what government's going to do, if they're going to jump to do what they did with the
same-sex marriage.
Same-sex marriage. But for those people who don't know, the point system, the point system, the permanent residence assessment is based on a point system. There are nine factors in the point system that you get points for. Factor one, that priority of occupations. The cabinet hasn't set a priority of occupation yet. That is 15 points, so you don't get any points for that. And then factor two, the maximum points is 25 points for that. You get 10 points for the years of experience on your occupation, and you get 15 points for your education. That's 25 points, and then point three is you get for investments in property in the islands or investment in a local licensed company. You get 30 points for that, and then point four, maximum points for that is 30 points. You get points. Those are financial stability. What is your financial stability? You get 30 points for that. 15 points for the evidence of cash savings in the bank, and 15 points for evidence of salary and income points. And then factor five is you get maximum points to 20. That's community-minded integration into the Cayman community. You get
walking dog
points for that. Training and mentoring of Caymanians, and personal sponsorship, and participation and assistance in the youth programs, and assistance in sports, and assistance in arts, and especially in local service clubs and so forth. And then factor six, you get 20 points for that. That history and the cultural tests you get for that. And then factor seven is the possessing close Caymanian connection. Now this one is very extraordinary, because it says applicants relationship to a person who is Caymanian. An applicant who is a Cuban national and who by virtue of a close Caymanian family connection was granted permission to reside in the Cayman Islands by the governor in the executive council, as it then was, and who applies for permanent residence will get 100 points.
Mm-hmm. You know, if I can interrupt you there, Doc, very quickly. You know why that had to be placed in there? Because in the 80s and in the 90s, when we were repatriating Caymanians from Cuba, or persons with Caymanian connections, the government allowed them to remain temporarily in the Cayman Islands, which means that every 6 months they had to get their renewal. And once they had been here for the required period of time, that they could apply for, they would have permanent residence. Some didn't fail to do that, so they did a carve out there to address that issue.
That's no longer relevant now.
It shouldn't be.
And then be an applicant who is a Cuban national and who is the brother, sister, or grandparents of a Caymanian, and who was granted permission to reside in the Cayman Islands. So he gets 80 points. And then C, an applicant who is the parent or son or daughter of a Caymanian gets 40 points. And an applicant who is the brother, sister, or grandparents of the Caymanian get 20 points. And then factor 8 is demographic and cultural diversity. You get points for to maintain a demographic and cultural balance in our community. Points will be awarded based on the applicant's country of origin. And then factor 9, which is the last one, is you get you get 10 points for your age. if you get 18 to 20, 25 to 35 years old, 36 to 45 years old, and 6 and above, you get no points for those age. And then there's a deductible. So the points can be deducted. Maximum points deducted can be 100 for criminal convictions, for health issues, and for administrative fines leveled in relation to your statutory offences. And you can get points for lack of a reasonable funded pension plan. So that's how the system works. That's how the system works.
Well, Graham, we got about 1 minute, half a minute left.
Is there any clause in there about how many kids you can bring after you get your status?
You're only allowed three dependents
on PR.
On you get your yes.
Okay.
Doc, we'll have a minute and give you an opportunity for some quick closing comments.
I would just want to say that I said this before. I just want to reiterate it again. Within this country, the rules of law has been one of our better cultural assets, which is why so many people have immigrated here. And I am profoundly opposed to the way some people deliberately refuse to comply with our laws, like those people who come on work permits and they have 10, 12, 15 cars renting, and they're not complying with the law in relation to rent cars and so forth. And I want to say the uncomfortable truth is that some of them do not love this country and its land and its waters. They take the fish, they take the stuff, they take the sprats, they take everything without a license. And its people, and they don't love the country and its people. And some of them love and imagine a country similar to the one that they left. And I say, while many, upon arriving in our country, arrive in our country endeavor to fit in, assimilate, to learn about our culture and follow our laws. Some others just use us for some kind of convenience. Those are the ones who should not expect any cooperation from the board that I chair.
Okay. And just very quickly before we go off air, that you mentioned that part about the balance in terms of nationalities. Now, I'm not sure why the person, there may have been other reasons why the person was unsuccessful, but I thought that one of the assets that person had was that they were coming from another British overseas territory that has very, very small representation in the Cayman Islands. And I thought that would have been a plus for that person. Like I said, I don't know what the other point system may have done, but
we don't know because we haven't gotten the judgment whether or not he didn't have the finances.
Yes.
Whether or not he didn't have the property value.
Right.
We don't know
what else. But I thought, I was thinking in terms of just a plus, the mere fact. And how many points they would have gotten for that geographic balance there? And let's say, if they were coming from a country that is really, really underrepresented when it comes to their nationals here in the Cayman Islands. We can deal with that another day.
Yes.
Folks, I want to thank you all very much. We had an enjoyable show this morning. I want to encourage you to continue to support your radio station, Radio Cayman. Join Sterling Dwayne Banks at 12:15 for Talk Today. And as usual, we ask the good Lord to bless these three beautiful, wonderful Cayman Islands.
For the record, proudly brought to you by
Coca-Cola. Available across the Cayman Islands from Tortuga Distributors. Accept no substitutes. Taste the feeling with Coca-Cola. Brand Source Home Gallery. Inspiring luxury. West Bay Pharmacy. Taking care of your health. And JN Money.
From abroad to yard.
Fast, affordable, convenient. Doctors Hospital. Peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctors Hospital. Always there for you. Call 949-6066. And the Ministry of Sustainability and Climate Resiliency. Visit energy.gov.ky or follow the National Energy Policy on Facebook and Instagram.
Satisfaction is guaranteed 24 hours a day, whether it's music or information.
From Grand Cayman to Cayman Brac to Little Cayman, we've got you covered.
You ever hear a thing like that?
Radio Cayman in the Cayman